Stam Garden Center, your one-stop shop for spring. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
Take advantage of the oil change special now through the end of June at Helmuth Ford in Sigourney. Must use complimentary pickup and delivery. It's simple, fast, convenient, and has a 27-point inspection. All for $49.99 plus tax. Call today to schedule an appointment at Helmuth Ford, 641-622-3260. Includes up to 6 quarts of Motorcraft oil and oil filter. Excludes diesel vehicles. For more information, go to helmuthford.com. Remember, must use complimentary pickup and delivery. It's the oil change special now through June 30th at Helmuth Ford in Sigourney.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the thousands listening locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to shuffle!
Welcome in to a Monday, a new week here on the Morning Wake Up on Steve Shetler Media. Morning Wake Up brought to us, as always, by our good friends at Stam Garden Center and Nursery along Highway 92 East Oskaloosa. Experience the color at Stam Garden Center and Nursery. They are open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed on Sundays, Stam Garden Center and Nursery. Our headline sponsor on the Morning Wake Up. We broadcast live from the Oski Dental Studios, 641-673-4845. Get your appointment with Dr. Schuster or Dr. Drawn. They are accepting new patients. Oski Dental will file your insurance forms for you, and they're a Delta dental provider at 902 South 17th Street, Oskaloosa. The Oski Dental Studios here on the Morning Wake Up. And let's take a look at our forecast, which we're waking up to today, brought to us by the Garden Gate, 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney, 641-622-3191. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to noon at the Garden Gate. Showers and thunderstorms for today, as we had basically all night long. The rumbles, the thunder, the lightning, the storms, some warnings out overnight, and a high today around 80 degrees with those showers and thunderstorms. Wind gusts up to about 25 miles per hour. Tonight, we'll go down to a 40% chance of some isolated showers and thunderstorms and a low of 64. Tomorrow, a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. And otherwise, partly sunny and breezy, 85 for the high. Tuesday night, showers and thunderstorms are still likely. Breezy, a low of 54. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 71. Right now, our current conditions, we have humidity at 93%. Winds are southeast at 15. Some gusts up to 20 miles per hour. The barometer at 29.76. And right now, 63 degrees in southeast Iowa. Your weather brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. Well, earlier this morning, 6 a.m. on weekdays, we put up our This or That. It's brought to us by Stacy Flynn at the Legacy Insurance Group and Welcome Realty. Our This or That today, which you can comment, just scroll back to 6 a.m. when this came out on my Facebook page. And you can comment, let us know what you think. Which one would you go with? City View or Mountain View? This or that? I don't know. I don't know what my opinion is. As I've made it well known, I do not travel much. I don't really like to travel all that much. I definitely don't like to drive around or into a big city. And it's been forever since I've been to the mountains. I guess I would go probably with the calmer Mountain View if I had to. So I'm going with Mountain View. You can let us know in the comments of that post from earlier today what you would go with. Also going on right now, we've got our For the Fun of It tournament, which you can get your vote in. This matchup started at 6 p.m. last evening and goes to 6 p.m. this evening. Lone Star versus Alabama. This is a second round matchup, and it's the 90s Country Group Duo Superstar Tournament, sponsored by Sarah's Quickie Delivery, a food delivery service in the Oskaloosa and surrounding area. You can get your call in, get your order in at 641-638-0756. Sarah's Quickie Delivery, Lone Star versus Alabama. Right now, Alabama has the lead. I'm guessing they have right around 75% of the votes right now. But you can get your votes in for that matchup till 6 p.m. this evening. There you see the overall brackets. We've got Brooks and Dunn and Dixie Chicks in the Final Four so far. The winner of this matchup, Alabama Lone Star, down in the left bottom corner, will move into the Final Four to face Brooks and Dunn. Let's see here. Our next matchup, which goes live at 6 p.m. this evening, is Little Texas against the Judds. So we'll see. We'll see if the Judds, they were kind of mid to late 80s was their big run. They lasted into the early 90s. We'll see if the popularity of the Judds can get by Little Texas in our next matchup. Look for that matchup again going up at 6 p.m. this evening. Almost skipped over our question of the day, which is brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa at 202 North Main in Sigourney. Call or text for an appointment at 641-622-3772. Question of the day goes up at noon on Steve Shetler Media Facebook. What are you looking forward to most this summer? What do you think? What do you guys look forward to most during the summer months, or this summer in particular? Is there an event coming up? Is there a trip coming up? Do you have something going on that you're really looking forward to this summer? You can let us know starting at noon with our question of the day. Let's see. We did that, did this, did that. Do want to tell you, got in on Friday our flyers for the 2024 Sigourney Savage baseball and then also the softball schedules. This is a two-sided flyer that is available at a lot of our different sponsors. You see the schedules are outlined by all the different sponsors there that made this flyer possible. And you can find these flyers at all sorts of locations throughout the Sigourney area. So we got some new businesses that I haven't had with anything Steve Shetler Media related quite yet. So we thank everybody. Got some longtime sponsors on there. Got some brand new sponsors on there. Those Sigourney Savage baseball and softball schedules available throughout the Sigourney community at different businesses that are involved, and some actually that aren't involved in this. They were gladly going to have some flyers handy. You can also get these at City Hall in Sigourney, at the Sigourney Public Library. They're everywhere. So look for the Sigourney softball and baseball schedules out and about in the Sigourney area. Coming up later on this week, let's see here. Do you want to throw this up first? Coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up, TNT, will be streaming live from Smoky Row in Oskaloosa, as this is every Tuesday at 7 during the racing season through about mid-August. Safe Grafke is your host. We'll see if Curtis Vanderwall will be part of the program this year. His schedule's kind of all over the place, so if his schedule allows, Curtis will be with us tomorrow evening, talking to local and area race drivers, getting you tuned up for the racing week ahead. That's TNT, Tuesday Night Tune-Up, Tuesdays through mid-August here on Steve Shuttler Media. Also coming up this Friday, we had a little bit of a snafu this past Friday with our Iowa Music Showcase. We rescheduled Randy Burke for August. But this Friday, we're going to have the debut of a duo called Beggar's Bargain. Beggar's Bargain. And these guys are going to be coming to Sigourney this Friday from 11:30 to noon. We'll get a live interview, live music, live original music from Beggar's Bargain this Friday from 11:30 to noon, live at Barn Wired in Sigourney. And you can get a coffee, get something to eat, and watch the interview and the music live at Barn Wired in Sigourney, or just watch it right here on Steve Shuttler Media. Again, that is Fridays from 11:30 to noon. Let's see, our schedule coming up. We've got Beggar's Bargain this Friday. We've got the group Rural Route coming up on Friday the 31st. We've got Jason Kinsel on June 7th. Jordan Bean coming back to the Iowa Music Showcase June 14th. So, got a bunch of great artists coming up here on the showcase. Coming up on Saturday, we go back to the sports section at Brothers Market in Sigourney. This past Saturday morning, we had the Sigourney Keota trap shooting team. A great bunch of guys there. And if you missed that interview, just go back and watch it. We try to shine the spotlight on different things here on Steve Shuttler Media. And, the Sigourney Keota trap shooting team might not get the headlines and a lot of focus, but we wanted to give them some spotlight this past Saturday morning here on Steve Shuttler Media, so make sure you check that out. Let's take a look at some events coming up on our community calendar. We've got the Free Grace United Church in Watchir presenting Breaker Rock Beach. It's the free evening summer camp for kids ages 4 to 12, and you can save the date for that, June 10th through the 13th. So kind of a cool Bible school going on there. Also on our community calendar, let's see here. Do want to bring up some different things here. The Sigourney Public Library with their monthly freezer meals. That's going on. I'm sure you can get more information on that at the Sigourney Public Library Facebook page, or you can call the number there at the bottom of your screen or send an email to that email there. And then also on the calendar, we've got the 6th annual Bark a Q coming up on Saturday, June 1st at the Mahaska Drug parking lot, as they are doing their best to help their friends at Stephen Memorial Animal Shelter. So lots of things going on in our community. Hopefully some of those community calendar events will help you out. Hey, we are doing our morning wake up here on Steve Shuttler Media. It's brought to us by Stam Garden Center and Nursery. We are live from the Oski Dental Studios. Let's get to some good mornings this morning. Dodie, good morning to you. Dan, Nancy, Amber, Sherry, Cindy, Dixie, Sandy, Tamara, boy, I got a bunch of people. Bubby, yes, Carson McDonald. He's saying thanks for coming to see it. Yes, I went to Bubby's graduation party in Keota yesterday. Had a great sandwich. That was some good pork. If there's pulled pork anywhere, I am bound to show up. If you have pulled pork at a random event somewhere, and I smell it in the air, I might show up at your event. Pulled pork draws me in. I got invited, and I went to Carson's graduation party yesterday and had a really fun time. So, Bubby, hope you had a great party yesterday. Molly, Chad, Eloise, good morning to everybody. Let's go ahead and do some birthdays. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. All right, birthdays for today. As you can see there, we'll start with our hometown birthdays. Jim Autry. I know him as Jimmy. He was my neighbor when I was growing up on Ringgold Street. Jim Autry has a birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Jim. And Sarah Yoder with a birthday today. So happy birthday to those local and area birthdays. Keep in mind, if you ever have a birthday coming up your birthday, somebody in your family, maybe a friend, maybe an acquaintance, maybe just somebody on Facebook. You see a birthday coming up on your Facebook birthdays, let me know at steveshetlermedia@gmail.com, and I'll get those on our list for the hometown birthdays. But happy birthday to Jim and Sarah. Celebrity birthdays for today. We've got Cher turning 78 years old. We've got Ron Reagan, who is the late president's son, Ronald Reagan's son. Ron is 66. How do you say this guy's last name? Bronson. I'm just going to say Bronson. If you see the name on the screen, I don't know how. Bronson, 65, actor. He was Balky from the show Perfect Strangers back in the 80s. Balky is 65. Mindy Cohn, who was Natalie from Facts of Life back in the 80s, turning 58. And then Busta Rhymes from the world of rap music is 52. Your celebrity and hometown birthdays brought to us by Hometown Real Estate. Nikki Leathers. Give her a call, 641-295-4142, or check out hometown-re.com. Hometown Real Estate bringing us our celebrity and hometown birthdays. Now, on this date in history, it was on this date in 1639, the Massachusetts town of Dorchester opened the first public school. Again, that was 1639. It was on this date in 1874, Levi Strauss of, the Blue Jean Company fame, Levi Strauss put his blue jeans with what they call copper rivets on sale for $13.50 a dozen. Again, you could get a dozen pair of Levi jeans back in 1874 for $13.50. That is a heck of a deal. It was on this date in history, 1892, George Sampson invented the clothes dryer. Up until that point, it was on the clothesline or you just wore wet clothes, one or the other. And then 1970, the Beatles' last movie, Let It Be. Let It Be hit movie theaters. Again, 1974, Let It Be the movie. Today on the National Day calendar is National Sugar Bee Apple Day. It's National Streaming Day. Hey, we're streaming right now. It's National Rescue Day. It's National Pick Strawberries Day. And it's National Be a Millionaire Day. So, all right, I can do that. If it's Be a Millionaire Day, I will be a millionaire. Dang it. And also keep in mind, coming up this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. So a 3-day weekend on the way. Before we go any further, let's hear from some of our sponsors, including our headliner, which is Stam Garden Center and Nursery.
Stam Garden Center, your one-stop shop for spring. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
Tassel Ridge also offers 9 different rosé wines that range from dry to semi-sweet and on to fully sweet wines. All are very fruity and all can be chilled and sipped or served with spicy dishes like Asian stir-fries, Mexican, and Moroccan couscous. Where white wines may not have enough body for all consumers or for all meals, red wines may have too much flavor. A rosé has more body and flavor than does a white, but less than a red wine. Our driest rosé is St. Croix Rosé. The semi-sweet rosés are American Pink Catawba, Oski Fazanti Red, Sweet Roxy Red, and Iowa Steuben. The sweetest rosés are Oski Fazanti Pink, Oski Fazanti Cranberry, Cranberry Wine, and Rockets Glare Rosé. When asked for my favorite, I usually think of Iowa Steuben. Iowa Steuben is a very fruity, semi-sweet rosé that is very popular. It's also versatile since it can be chilled and sipped, or it can also be used to complement many foods.
Muse Music Store and Mahaska County Conservation Board presents Eveland Access Summerfest Music by the River 2024. June 1st from noon to 10 p.m. featuring 8 musical artists with live music, activities like bingo, sand volleyball, and cornhole, food, and much, much more. It's a free event at the Eveland Access Campgrounds at 2890 Galveston Avenue, Oskaloosa. Bring a friend and have a lot of fun at the Eveland Access Summerfest 2024 Music by the River, June 1st from noon to 10 at the Eveland Access Campgrounds. Alrighty, we thank all of our sponsors for making our broadcasts possible here on Steve Shetler Media, whether that's in the form of a video ad or, these rotating ads down here, or, we got Stam right up here. We've got Oski Dental over my shoulder. We got things going on down below. So, wherever our sponsors are popping up, we thank our sponsors for making stuff possible here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's go ahead and do some things you need to know. Oh, yeah, come on. Things you need to know. Sad note in the world of acting as actor Dabney Coleman. He was 92 years old, had the mustache, always had the mustache. From War Games, On Golden Pond, 9 to 5, tons of movies and shows over the years. Dabney Coleman passing away at 92. Another death, Alice Stewart, who was a CNN political commentator who had just appeared on the network on Saturday, was found dead outside on Saturday morning. Now, no foul play is suspected. Officers believe a medical emergency occurred. She was just 58 years old. So Alice Stewart of CNN. And other things you need to know, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are said to be quite concerned about an upcoming German documentary and the secrets it could reveal. So, something juicy in the German documentary going to be coming out. Tony McGregor, 64-year-old father of MMA star Conor McGregor, was rushed to the hospital this past Thursday in Dublin, Ireland, after suffering a heart attack. That's all I know about that, but best wishes to Mr. McGregor. If you like Hallmark Channel Christmas movies, here is the thing for you. Hallmark Channel announced plans for the first ever Hallmark Christmas experience. It's free, it's open to the public. It's an immersive experience right outside Hallmark headquarters at Kansas City's Crown Center. So it's not too far away if you're like a huge Hallmark Christmas movie buff. What's an immersive experience for a Hallmark Christmas movie? I mean, there's got to be a place. It's like small town, rural. They got to be selling Christmas trees somewhere. There's got to be a guy or a girl, maybe somebody just divorced, or somebody's husband or wife has passed away, and then they kind of fall in love, but then something happens and it kind of tears them apart, but then they come back just in time for Christmas. Oh, you guys know how it goes. Christmas Hallmark movies, they're just the greatest. Let's see. Paul McCartney. I digress. Paul McCartney has become the UK's first billionaire musician. Paul McCartney is loaded. How about Kellogg's? Kellogg's is closing a cereal factory in the city of Manchester in the UK that had been there for 90 years. It was where they churned out millions of boxes of cereal a day. Corn Flakes, Rice Krispies, Cocoa Pops, or Cocoa Puffs. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but they're closing that cereal factory over there. Let's go to golf for Scotty Scheffler. Not related to the Shetlers. He is a Scheffler. He's the number one golfer in the world. Was arrested Friday for allegedly driving past a police roadblock. Scheffler was charged with second-degree assault on a police officer, a felony, along with lesser charges of third-degree criminal mischief, reckless driving, and disregarding signals from officers directing traffic. So, Scotty Scheffler, the golfer in trouble. In Taylor Swift news, the T-Swizz, that's half a heart. Taylor Swift has filed an application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to trademark the name Female Rage, the musical. Maybe a Broadway show in the future for Taylor Swift. All you Swifties out there. Good morning, Deb. Hey, thank you for sending me stars. I appreciate that. Yeah, if be like Deb. If you want to send me some stars, if you see the star option, the send star option on your phone or your device, go ahead and do that. That helps me out a little bit financially. I mean, like I've mentioned before, 200 stars is the equivalent, I believe, of $2. So Deb giving me a couple bucks. Appreciate that, Deb. Let's go ahead, and what are we doing next? We're doing this. Today's impossible. Is it impossible? I don't know. Question. An impossible question stuff for today. Studies show the smell of this. The smell of this will make you a nicer person. I might smell some in my house this morning. Studies show the smell of this will make you a nicer person, especially in the mornings. That should give it away. What do you think? Studies show the smell of this will make you a nicer person. It's the smell of coffee. Smelling coffee will make you a nicer person. Let's get weird in here.
That is weird.
In some weird, you'll see this full story. I'll put it up this morning, or later on this afternoon, I should say, at 1 p.m. on my Facebook page. But agencies in Washington County, Ohio, are trying to make sense of what one official described as a dump truck's worth of meat dumped sometime during the night of May 9th. A dump truck's worth of meat. Now, they are quoted as saying eyewitness description was pork loins, sausage, bacon, steaks, chicken, shrimp. It certainly was a wide variety of meats that apparently had gone bad or needed to be disposed of. Now, officials pushed the meat to the side of the road shortly thereafter and covered most of it with dirt. Can you imagine rotten meat dumped on a road? They put dirt over it to try to contain the smell of the pile of meat, as of course it was, attracting flies and bugs and gross. The health department and sheriff's office will be coordinating with the Wayne National Forest people to remove the meat. When and how the meat will ultimately be disposed of has yet to be determined. They're not quite sure who dumped all of that meat. Let's go to Tesla and TikTok, as a TikToker got locked inside of her Tesla Model 3 for 40 minutes in the hot sun while it was installing a software update. And as of this writing, her video has over 10.7 million plays on TikTok after a single day of being online. Now, before you go jumping to conclusions about this young lady, Brianna Janelle was actually following the rules laid out by Tesla. As according to the manual, they say, quote, vehicle functions, including some safety systems and opening or closing the doors or windows, may be limited or disabled when installation is in progress and you could damage the vehicle. So a software update for her Tesla car, and she got stuck inside for 40 minutes in the hot weather. Not good. Speaking of Teslas, Hertz, the rent-a-car place, Hertz has charged a man $277 for not returning the Tesla that he had rented with a full tank of gas. Can you believe this? This guy's named Joshua Lee. Lee recently returned a Tesla Model 3 to Hertz after a weekend trip to Los Angeles, received that charge of $277 on top of his initial reservation price because he didn't return it with a full tank of gas. Now, Lee even paid for the skip the pump and save time option, meaning that even if he had rented a gas-powered car and didn't refuel it, he wouldn't have been charged an additional fee. So, charged nearly $300 for not returning the rental car with a full tank of gas. And also, in some weird news, some weird world records, Guinness World Records being set. Serial Guinness World Record breaker David Rush recaptured one of his former titles by snapping 110 pencils in 1 minute. We've said this many times before. There's a Guinness World Record for everything. So snapping 110 pencils in 1 minute is a Guinness World Record. Also, a Canadian man combined his love of Legos and Star Wars for a world record by building the 7,541-piece Millennium Falcon in a record-breaking time of 7 hours, 36 minutes, and 37 seconds. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I would not have the patience, nearly 8 hours, of making a Millennium Falcon full of Legos. Again, over 7,500 pieces of Legos. How would you like to step on 7,541 Lego pieces in the middle of the night? Oh. To the files of Law and Disorder. In some disorder, a porch pirate was caught on surveillance video snatching a package worth thousands of dollars right out of the hands of a homeowner in a matter of seconds. The bold theft happened around 3 p.m. Tuesday in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, when the victim, only identified as Henry, was retrieving the package containing 6 iPhones for his family. Now, the thief can be seen running up to Henry's door, bolting past an Amazon driver, dropping off another delivery, as the homeowner bends over to pick up the high-valued package. In a flash, the porch pirate, was wearing a black Guess shirt and a black Philadelphia Phillies baseball hat, yanks the package away from the guy Henry and runs off toward a light tan sedan with tinted windows. So they're on the lookout for the porch pirate that grabbed over $3,000 worth of iPhones. That is crazy. Let's go to something that'll make you smile.
Something that makes you smile.
Something to make you smile, brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions. If you're searching for a dentist in Sigourney, give them a call, 641-622-2669. Accepting new patients, Lifetime Dental Solutions in Sigourney. Something to make you smile. Let's see here. When the fire chief for Missouri's Calhoun Volunteer Fire Department saw last month that the department's bank account dwindled to just $169. Again, this is a fire department's bank account, $169 with all that was left in it. He wasn't sure what he was going to do next, as his firefighters were struggling to do their jobs with decades-old gear. Well, let's see here. In stepped 91-year-old Sam Sloan with a donation of $500,000 to help the fire department get back on their feet. Hardin, who grew the department from one volunteer to more than 24 in the last few years, says he got a call in early April that the 91-year-old man was wanting to have a meeting. Ended up making that donation of $500,000. So that is some good news. That full story goes up on my Facebook page at 7:45 this morning. Let's wrap this up with some duh.
Duh.
In some duh, the legalization of sports betting in Massachusetts last year coincided with a spike in calls to the state's gambling helpline. 1-800-BETS-OFF, I'm guessing. But nearly a third of the callers were asking for tech help with their mobile sports platforms, according to a new report. The helpline saw a 121% increase in calls from July of 22 to June of 23. compared to the previous year. Now, the helpline received a total of 3,050 calls compared to the previous year's nearly 1,400. But according to the report, the helpline saw a surge in calls after sports betting was legalized. Let's see here. But of the 2,069 calls, 1,043 of them were non-helpline related, with a lot of callers looking for help with how to use the sports betting apps. So they weren't looking for help with their betting or their gambling. They were looking for actual help on how to use the apps themselves.
Duh.
Actually, I do have one more thing. We've got the box office results. If you went to the movies over the weekend, the majority of you went to see a movie called If. $35 million for the debut weekend of If. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes dropped down to number 2, brought in $26 million. Strangers Chapter 1 was number 3 with $12 million. Had The Fall Guy at number 4 with $8.4 million. Then everything else was under $3 million, with Challengers, Back to Black, Tenet, Godzilla Kong, Blue Angels, and Unsung Hero. Those are your top 10 money-making movies. Our forecast for today, let's get a look at it, brought to us by the Garden Gate. Showers and storms, and a high around 80 for today. Breezy winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Again, we do thank Stam Garden Center and Nursery for bringing us the morning wake up, and we thank Oski Dental for sponsoring our Oski Dental Studios. Coming up today here on Steve Shetler Media, looking at our schedule, we've got In Remembrance Of coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll have an encouraging word from Kevin Hempel at 5. We'll get to Successful Farming at 5:30. Real Talk with myself and Pastor Aaron Fleming. And then we'll talk wrestling, Cards Subject to Change, our pro wrestling show starting at 7 p.m. this evening. So a full day of stuff here on Steve Shetler Media. Otherwise, you guys have a great Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.